Oh dear. So do we want to just like have a little plan and then go into it, or do we want to just go straight into it? What do you reckon?
I don't know. I mean, I had like kind of an outline of a plan, kind of. We kind of use it to introduce ourselves a little bit, not too much,
Mhm.
but just like a brief synopsis of like what kind of fans we are, what we're a fan of.
Oh, I love that. And are we going kind of conversational? Are we going more script like, or like more sort of formal? Are we just keeping it loose?
I reckon probably conversational. I'm not sure. But yeah, I
Nice.
forget you can radio before, haven't you? I
Hmm.
forgot. Yeah.
Absolutely, I have indeed. However, the good thing about radio is no one was listening. So
Oh,
that always
yeah.
helps. Anyway, oh my god. Okay, cool. So do you reckon we should have like a little intro where we like introduce ourselves?
Um, yeah.
Oh my god, we should get someone to write us a jingle.
Oh, that'd be good. We get
Mhm.
Bertie to do that on a little guitar.
Oh hell yes. Oh my god.
I'm picturing like a little like ukulele or something.
Oh, for sure. I'm feeling like a little animated, like us kind of dancing around the words. Okay, I reckon we should go for it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
Mhm.
I'm I'm ready. I'm all set up.
So we are recording on the call already.
No,
So we've got all of that anyway.
amazing.
um, so do you want to just like start by introducing yourself? I'll introduce myself, and we can kind of go from there.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Tasha, and uh, this is our podcast. Um, this is Fandom Scientist. You go.
Welcome. Hi, I'm Rem Harper. I am on this podcast too. And I am a proud member of many fandoms, and I have been over the last 10 years. I feel I'm more than qualified to discuss this subject matter.
I mean, I guess maybe would you want to start with what would you say if what are you the biggest fan of if you had to quantify it?
Ooh, okay. That is a difficult question to start with. My God. Well, I mean, there's a lot of different things that I've loved for years. Um, and I mean, I would be doing the whole show a disservice if I didn't first mention Stranger Things, because
Yeah,
what
that's a
an
good
incredible
start.
show. Yeah,
Oh my god, yeah.
absolutely. And that's very much the same for you, isn't it?
Go very much go. Like I adore Stranger Things.
Like they seem to have some kind of magic secret sauce. I don't know what it is, what kind of
Secret Sauce.
nostalgia they're injecting into this show, but it is incredible. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, it hasn't been consistently good. There have
Oh god,
been
go. Go.
moments, but that is too much of a topic to go into for now. That is some gold right
Yeah.
there.
That's a
So
two-part episode, that.
that certainly is, certainly. But in terms of sort of other shows, other things I've been into over the years, like my top fandoms that I've been part of, I mean, gosh, there's a whole range. I mean, there's YouTube, there's
Yeah.
music, there's film, there's TV, there's so many subcategories in which many of the fandoms I've been part of have existed. I'm a multimedia bitch.
I mean, I can probably say I am also a multimedia bitch.
Hell yes. So just to list a few, I suppose, to answer your question, definitely Stranger Things.
Yeah.
I enjoyed Umbrella Academy for a while. That was really good. I was definitely in the fandom.
Yeah.
Um, I've been big on sort of YouTube over the years, so I was big into my Dan and Phil when I was younger, and I still,
Yeah.
they hold a place in my heart, absolutely.
Oh.
I've been massively involved in emo fandom. over the last 10 years or so, especially on Tumblr. So I feel like that's kind of my specialist area.
Yeah,
And yeah,
yeah.
a hell of a lot of Netflix shows. So how about you?
Well, just carrying on from what you say, I'm quite because I've never been on Tumblr, nor have I ever been a part of the emo fandom. So if we ever did an
Mm.
episode on that, I'd be quite excited to learn about that.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. I've got some great stories there.
yeah. So I mean, like, just I mean, I've they are quite a big YouTube fan. I kind of grown up with a lot of YouTubers. I'm mainly a lot of Minecraft stuff and mainly a lot of Sim stuff actually, more Sims
Oh,
than Minecraft probably. Same as you like James Thing and most definitely Cobra Kai. Like
oh yes.
absolutely adore
I was
that.
waiting for Cobra Kai to come out.
Oh, well, the thing is, like, that fandom has problems, and that fandom needs dissecting in a lot of ways. Well, it's so hard for me to think of shows that I like, even though like I wish wrong about them in normal conversation, but because I know we're recording, there's so much pressure. It's like, what do I like? I don't remember.
Honestly, I feel like it's like when someone asks you like, "Oh, what do you want for Christmas?" You're like,
Oh
uh.
yeah.
Well, we've definitely got some similar topics there. But there's
Yeah.
so much more to the world of fandoms that we've been interested by and that's like kind of brought
Oh,
us to wanting to make this podcast.
absolutely. I went down a rabbit hole this week, and I feel like I'm still there.
You know, you've Alice in Wonderlanded yourself there.
I have. I
Uh,
have.
you know what? That's probably a fandom that's going to come up at some point too. So I think maybe we should tell the people what they can kind of expect, what sort of topics that might be coming up in this podcast in the future, maybe even in this episode.
Aha, well, lucky for the people I have a look at, or I won't be
Fabulous.
stumbling on this question.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Well, we both quite compiled the list. I saw your contribution to the list,
Oh,
so thank
indeed.
you very
Yes.
much for
No
that.
worries.
I mean, I said that we should dedicate a whole episode to One Direction. I'm very
Easily.
much down that rabbit hole. My God, the lore in that band, Jesus. Um,
The
you
fandom. The fandom. My God.
literally. Oh my God. I think one of them mentioned YouTuber. You got the ride and the fall of the influencer. I hate
Oh,
influencers, so that'll be a good one.
oh, yes, we got some juicy stories around influencers, and you better believe we're going to be touching on YouTube drama, on the beauty
Oh,
community. I was
oh
there for
God.
that when it happened. I was following along like it was, breaking news. So that's in my brain, and hopefully one day will be in yours too.
I am. Well, not proud to say this. I never ever got into the beauty side of YouTube.
You
I,
know what?
yeah,
You saved yourself there.
yeah. No
Absolutely.
comment. I'm a long life gamer fandom person, which I mean, there's obviously been some controversies in that side of
Oh,
YouTube,
yeah.
but yeah.
I feel
Um,
like there's some controversies maybe that we're even going to end up unearthing. Things that maybe people don't know about. We could be fucking breaking news journalists out here.
oh, like if we ever got a guest on the podcast, it's like, who's a big YouTuber? Um,
Great start.
oh,
Great start.
it Jeffree. Actually, why would we invite Jeffree Star here? I don't want to
I
do that.
honestly could think of probably no one I'd less like to have on this podcast.
I just think it's. I mean, I don't know the full. I just know that they get into a lot of drama, and like, I just can't be arsed with that.
Oh,
Um.
yeah, we do not want to end up on the wrong side of the beauty community on YouTube or on TikTok, God forbid.
Oh, don't we get the start off fucking TikTok? Fucking hell.
Well, we're certainly going to have to bring up TikTok at some point
I mean,
because,
it's inevitable, isn't it?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really is kind of taken over YouTube as the main platform for video streaming. And that is
Wait,
a massive change that is kind of going to
oh
affect what we want to
live
do.
streaming.
Everything. You know what?
Oh.
Maybe you're even hearing this on a TikTok. Who knows?
Let's get really meta. Maybe you're even commenting, what a great podcast. I should listen to this in the comments right now on TikTok.
Absolutely, absolutely. But you know, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. This is only
No.
our first episode. But we've definitely got plenty more to come. We're going to be talking about bands, we're going to be talking about shows, and we'd love to know kind
Really?
of
Our farm podcast, we're going to be talking about bands? Wow.
no way. Oh god, I bet they could have never ever thought that.
I know.
Like,
What do you reckon? Oh, by the way, I searched on a Spotify podcast to see if we had any like competition.
oh yeah,
There are podcasts that are called like that have like fandom in the title, but based on the description of the episode, it's not looking like we have a lot of competition. I think we managed to find a little bit of a gap in the market. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I bet you someone's gonna comment. Actually, I follow this podcast and they talk about fandoms.
yeah,
But yeah,
we are totally ripping it off, and it's absolutely intentional. And yeah, we are plagiarizing all of their work. Um, no, honestly, I think it's fantastic. If we've found our little unique selling point, something good to come out of spending my entire teenage years on the internet, that would be wonderful.
it's very like it feels like a Bo Burnham song. You know how we could like write a song about social media and stuff like that.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, this is gonna be meta. This is gonna be, you know, inspirational. No, no.
I'm
Truly,
what
this
are
is
our
a
fans gonna be
discussion
like?
about fandoms, and if that's what you want to listen to, then here we are. I would say both me and Tasha sort of became friends through our collective love of various fandoms. I remember you did an interview with me last year about Heartstopper. That's another
Oh
big one.
God, yeah. I was gonna do a documentary and then I forgot about it. I didn't forget it. I put it on pause and then I became a director and then
Classic, absolutely. That's a fair point, actually. We should probably tell the people what we do. We are both film students at the moment. We are going into our third year of uni. It
yeah,
is something else.
it really is. It really is. So when
um,
we talk about films, know that we do know what we're talking about most of the
we
time.
do. We do. We will be criticizing all the technical details and all the 180-degree rule breakings and all that stuff that really matters. Um,
We get plot holes. We're gonna criticize our filming techniques.
absolutely. But yeah, so I'd say we know a thing or two about films. We make films
Yeah.
together as part of a production company, Shot Productions, and we definitely have a fair few films we've made, but we do need to start releasing them soon.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
I tell you what, a great fandom. You should be a fan of Shot Productions. That's a
Hell
great
yes,
fandom
we
to
should.
join.
Do you like sad gays? Do you like angst? Do
That
you like
actually brings me on to a question I have.
oh
But I would love to discuss on one of the podcasts.
for
Um,
sure.
if we do an episode about fan fiction, which is inevitable as well,
Oh,
I can picture multiple episodes about that. It's like
absolutely.
why people actually like Ang.
Whoa. Oh my god. Okay, that is an incredible topic choice. Um, I feel I should maybe break some news to the listeners. Um, I was a prolific fan fiction writer. Um, one might say I still am, but very much less so these days. And my speciality when it comes to fan fiction is angst. I feel I will be able to bring some good examples to the table and hopefully be able to give you some insight to the world of angst and why it is so great.
See, that's the thing. It's like, cause I like angst in my story. If sometimes things are going wrong for characters or things are moody and sad or whatever, then it is gripping and it is somewhat enjoyable to read or watch or whatever. But I'm just wondering, as humans or whatever, why part of us enjoy that part of stories.
It is very strange. Like, I feel like it links into that kind of morbid curiosity, sort
Yeah,
of
yeah,
weird obsession that we as humans have with things going badly. I mean, talking
yeah.
about something a bit topical, and this will definitely date the podcast, but just in the last, week or so, we've had this submarine thing go missing. Everyone's become obsessed with it.
Hmm.
It's like real life Black Mirror in a way.
Yeah, yeah.
And I feel there is definitely some ties in there. Like, why are people attracted inherently to awful things? And that could be quite, psychological in a way. There's
Hmm.
definitely, we got the science, we got the psychology, we've got everything, and we are absolutely not qualified to talk about this at all.
And it's defined, this is like an essay now, and
Oh.
it's defined as anxiety that is mixed with frustration and negativity. It is not only about sadness, but something deeper. In a fictional story, Anne puts the characters through the ringer, emotionally, mentally, or even physically. This can make the
Mm.
reader fall for characters because Anne often triggers feelings of sympathy for whoever is being hurt.
That does make a lot of sense. I think, especially with stories where you really find yourself kind of entangled with the characters' plots
Hmm.
and their like emotional storylines. I think that level of angst, that level of unease that they produce, it's what keeps you watching it. It's what keeps you on the edge of your seat and like almost feeling the feelings of that character. I think in this sort of day and age where things are quite dark, a lot of people can relate to that, and there's kind of something almost comforting, I think, about seeing characters going through things that maybe you've experienced, because it makes you feel less alone. It makes you
Hmm.
kind of feel like, well, this character's going through it, and they're a superhero, or something like that. And I think there is something quite nice about that. I don't know. What do you reckon?
I completely agree. I think if you can find relatability in a character, it can be an incredibly comforting experience, even if they're fictional, even if they're an alien or whatever.
Mm.
If you find that connection, it's a very human. I just contradict myself. It's like an alien. It's very human, but it's a very emotional. It's a very yeah. Like I just think that's a very powerful emotion. I think
Mm.
yeah, in my brain it sounds so much better.
I weirdly think there's almost like a sort of segue there into that connection people have with characters and also with other people, and sort of the parasocial relationships that you get through fandoms. People who
Yeah,
feel that they are connected to a character, to a YouTuber, to an actor, and like that is such an interesting concept, because obviously you will never, or you may never meet this person, and you certainly won't meet the character, but some people have so much love and genuine care and emotional response to characters. It's a really interesting kind of development, I feel. Like,
yeah.
I wonder if people felt this way about books like 100 years ago.
Oh, I think like probably yeah. Like is it Jane Eyre? She's quite a famous writer, but years ago.
Mm.
Because yeah, I imagine a lot of women. I think like my knowledge of literature is really letting me down here. I imagine a lot of women would have connected with her book.
Yeah, for sure. I feel, there was a lot of quite iconic authors, you know, even in like the Gothic writing era, you know, Mary Shelley and people like that. Like, I definitely feel that young, aspiring, spooky teens in the Victorian era would have loved it. They would have been all over it. And maybe they dressed similar in the way that a lot of people kind of express their fandoms, like in their style. I reckon fandoms have been around for so much longer than the word fandom itself.
Yeah, I think they were just kind of like, because of how differently they were like hundreds of years ago, they probably
Mm,
weren't even registered as fandom because it's so much different compared to what we have today with online and social media and stuff like that.
absolutely. Like there's a real sense of community in fandoms, of that thing of connecting with loads of other people who love the same thing you love. Um,
Mm.
or in some cases, people who love the same thing you love, but in different ways, and that can cause so much discourse, um, like between fandoms. Stranger Things is a particularly good example of that, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you're not gonna like me saying it, but like, so I went to a Stranger Things experience in London, and it
Oh
was
yeah,
basically, it's like, oh, you can go into Brenner's lab and you can do this, which like is a bit weird, to be honest.
yeah,
And it, to be honest, being there kind of among all these Stranger Things fans that were so excited and so in the moment, it kind of made me realise that they're so wrapped up in themselves a lot. And maybe I'm hypocritical saying that, but I just realised that maybe I don't like Stranger Things that band that much.
oh god, yeah. It is a strange thing sometimes being a fan of a show, but really not being able to relate to the fandom, or kind
Mm.
of disliking the fandom of something that you're a fan of.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely.
like I totally understand what you mean by that. Like I feel I don't know if I actually have told you this, but my mum has booked me tickets to go and see the live Stranger Things show.
Oh wow.
And I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how excited I am. I think she is in a weird way more excited than me, because
That's
I've become so
yeah.
so weirdly detached from this fandom because of the craziness of it at times. After the whole Eddie Munson fucking, oh my god, don't get me
Oh,
started.
but I know what you mean because my mum got me the ticket for Christmas for the Stranger Things show, and she was so excited. I mean, bless her heart, like she, like all in good heart, she was
Yeah,
my reaction, and she knew that I loved Stranger Things, and it was such a lovely present. And
yeah,
I didn't hate it. Obviously, I did really, really enjoy it, but it was just a very like eye-opening experience, just seeing other people that love the show more than me in a nice way, partly,
mm.
but then also just I'm gonna be honest, I people like adults dressing up in like kids clothes, like
Oh
not like
god,
kid guy clothes. Obviously, if you are smaller, then yeah, but you can have a
yeah,
choice. But like dressing like the child characters, I don't know how I
yeah.
feel about that. It's a bit weird.
Seeing like a 30-year-old woman dressed as like a 12-year-old Mike Wheeler is quite a sight.
Yeah, I don't know what I think about it, and I just like okay, it's like I mean,
Yeah.
Cooper Ahoy, like that guy, I don't think that's that bad.
I suppose with those characters, like they're basically played by 30-year-olds anyway, so it's not that
Yeah.
different. But yeah,
So
I don't know. I feel like maybe cosplay is a good topic for this podcast.
yeah,
Um, at some point, we definitely need to talk about cosplay because it is a huge part of fandoms, and I think it can be done so well, but also it can be so bad and so offensive.
I had only cosplay. Well, I had a very interesting cosplay experience. If we're going back to the psychological thing, but I'm a huge Cobra
Sure.
Kai fan,
Oh
and
yes.
I bought myself a Cobra Kai gi, which is like the karate uniform that you fight in and you do tournament thing.
Yeah, it's like
And
the white top and bottoms that you wear whilst doing
it was
karate.
it was like a black top with no sleeves and like black pants and it had like yellow lining and you had the Cobra Kai logo
Ooh.
on the back. And as soon as I put it on and put the belt on around it, I just kind of felt in my mind, just felt different. I
Yeah,
just wanted to like go out and fight someone and take on the world. And it was just genuinely only just putting on my outfit, but it's incredible how much difference that made.
absolutely. No, I mean, this was quite a while ago, but I used to be very much into Star Wars when I was about 14. And I remember I went to Comic-Con in Brighton back home, and it was my first ever Comic-Con, and I got myself my Jedi robes, and I was
Oh,
practicing for weeks and weeks before the convention with my little plastic lightsabers, trying to learn how to do the cool tricks and that. And it felt great when I got there. I was people dressed up as stormtroopers. I came up to a group of people who ran like a Mandalorian store, and they commended my cosplay as a first. And I was like, yes, I'm part of this community. But I kind of look back on it now and I can't help but cringe. I don't know if it's just because I was 14 or what,
well,
but
I don't know.
I
That's quite
don't know.
wholesome.
It is sweet. But equally, I think if I was doing that now, I don't know how sweet it would be as a 20-year-old. But maybe that's just me kind of getting a little pessimistic on people enjoying things when they get a bit older. Maybe there really is no age that you can stop cosplaying and dressing up.
I think just like getting older and like being a fan in general is getting hard because I mean a recent frustration I had with that, not with like Coldplay, it's just like watching Heartstopper when
Yeah.
I'm 20 now, and like I just watched it thinking, why couldn't this have come out when I was like 15? When I was
Oh
the age of
my
the
God. Yeah.
characters.
So true. Literally, like I do get quite jealous of
Yeah, yeah.
sort of teenagers in this day. Like if I was a teenager now, what, like 10 years after the peak of my teens, I guess, or the beginning, I just feel like there is so much more in terms of, your LGBT stuff, um, and like just variety of shows. There's so much good stuff now. I'm like, shit, can we do a replay and can I have all this now?
See, that's the thing. Say if someone said, right, you can go back to just for like an hour or whatever, go back to your 15-year-old brain, and it will only be an hour because I don't want to go back there.
Oh God, no.
And you can watch Heartstopper with that brain or mindset or whatever. I'd be like, yeah, well, I'd be down for that. But then again, it the way you watch shows and then you apply it to your life, whether it's like you learn a lesson or you learn to be brave or not sure. I don't know. Whatever you learn from a show, it's just
Yeah.
you apply it differently if you're an adult watching Heartstopper. I don't know what you do with. Yeah, I don't know. I
No,
don't know what
that's
I'm doing.
absolutely right. It's all about kind of like where you are in your life when you come into watching a new show or something like that. Like there'll be different things you can relate to over time. Like,
Mm.
I don't know about you, but when I first started watching Stranger Things, I was a teenager and I related to the
Yeah,
younger characters a lot.
I guess.
I was going out with my friends in the woods, fucking around, and like, I could really relate to that. And so it's interesting now. I watch it and I relate so much more to the adults. And I know
Mm.
I'm only 20, and that's not really that old, but it is really hard to see the show in that same childlike wonder that I had when I was a child. And maybe
Yeah.
that is, again, that I've grown older and pessimistic, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, even like when I was a teenager, like watching it for the first time, I feel like watching season one, the character that I felt the emotion of most was probably Joy, and she was like a mother, and I'm not a mother, right? And I wasn't never a mother, but I was 16. But I felt her pain, and whether that's down to like probably the acting, the writing,
Mm,
the way the story was told. Yeah, no, that was interesting.
absolutely. No, I totally hear what you mean. Like, it's interesting that for you were more relating to the older characters, like upon first watch. Would you sort of say that you relate more to the younger characters now?
I I don't know. Well, I was just thinking, the first thing that popped into my head is the car scene in season four now. I'm just seeing how much I related to that. Because I'm just thinking, I remember being a kid and I was sat next to my best friend and we had an argument and I cried and like I
Yeah.
had to hide the fact that I was crying. Um,
Oh
I it was not a good day, and
no.
fortunately, you can check out like the actual episode. She got a real eye and she was like, "Look, just it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be
Good.
no big argument." But I kind of related to that, but also like the actual dialogue beforehand when he's saying, "Oh, I feel different," and when you're different, you I don't know the
Mm.
monologue off by heart. But yeah, I guess that's somewhat relatable.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, there's a lot of topics that they've kind of started bringing up in Stranger Things. A lot of like things that maybe they weren't either ready to bring up at the beginning or it wasn't ready in terms of the story.
Ironically,
Um,
they're still not ready and they need to improve a lot, but that's all not.
absolutely. And I
We'll
think
go through there.
that's a topic that I would love to talk about, like on a much sort of bigger scale. Maybe episode wide, we should have an episode just for Stranger Things
Yes.
because there's so much about, queer baiting,
Oh
and
God, yeah.
like the discourse between the fans of Mike and Eleven or Maleven and Mike and Will or Byla. For
Um,
context, big Byla fan me, been writing Byla fan fiction since 2017. So,
oh God.
and that is something that we definitely need to talk about here too. Shipping
Yeah.
culture is weird. It is
It,
so weird.
I think characters, it's okay. In real life, that is
Yeah,
very weird.
that is so wrong. And you know what? It's something that I've really changed my perspective on um over the years because I will put my hands up and say I used to ship people with each other, like real people. I was massively a shipper of Dan and Phil.
I knew you were gonna say that. I waited.
Yeah, and I think it's such an interesting thing because like these people have now come out and went, you know what? That sucked. That really actually had a bad impact on my mental health. And it makes you
Mhm.
just think like, shit, this internet thing, this is real life. These are real people. And
Yeah, yeah.
you know, as a 13-year-old, I didn't really think what I was doing was wrong by writing stories about Dan and Phil.
Okay.
but I look back now and it does just feel a bit voyeuristic, a bit weird. It's just like, come on now. These people are real people. God forbid, I hope they never saw any of the stories I wrote. If they did, I'm sorry. um,
I'm sure
but
Gavin still up every night looking at fan fiction about themselves.
oh, I bet. And I bet they're listening to this podcast right now too.
Hi Dan, hi Fab.
Bye.
I never watched you. I only watched your coming out video and it was great. So
It was great. It was.
oh,
That's interesting. Oh my God, we've got some great segues right now. I would love to talk about uh, sort of LGBT stuff in fandoms too
yeah.
in this podcast. I think coming out videos will be a very interesting like subtopic in that.
We could do a ranking of like I actually go like how like could it be if we did a ranking of coming out videos by YouTube? Like well this person can cry off. Oh
There wasn't
God.
enough production value in this particular coming out video.
It's really weird because like when I was sort of figuring out the whole lesbian thing.
Mm.
I just went one night, just watched a load of coming out videos all in one night, and then by the end of it, it was like midnight, and I just felt like a completely different person. Like
Oh
everything
my
just started to
God.
make sense.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so sweet. Like, I genuinely feel like finding and accepting my sexuality at a really young age was so massively helped by the internet and by people just like being themselves online, being
Yeah,
openly queer online, and kind of seeing that they were not getting a bad response for the most part. It was other people going, yeah, I feel that too. That's my experience too. And I really
mm.
love that. I love that that is something positive that's come out of the internet.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Like you have a wholesome fan base, and that's awesome. Like that, there's no as a content creator, there must be like no better feeling than knowing you have people that, for the most part, will support you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like, I think that's when it becomes gratifying. That's when it becomes like a worthwhile thing to be doing. And growing up and watching YouTubers, growing up and watching TV shows that are hopefully starting to get a little better with their LGBT representation. Stranger Things. Um, but I really feel that as a lesbian non-binary person myself, that even though I'm not being represented yet, there is so much more of a chance of that kind of representation happening within YouTube and within TikTok that TV just needs to fucking catch up with.
Yeah.
And in a way, I feel like that's one of the best parts of fandoms, because you get that, and then you also get people talking about shows they love and how
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
well impacted on their lives.
No, yeah, I agree. That's like such a like good thing to hope for. Like I really do hope that really in TV show we do get that sort of more sort of non-binary umbrella type representation, because that, I mean, we are in desperate need for it. Um, Something interesting on sort of on the same topic. Do you
Mm,
know Bella Ramsey?
I do indeed know Bella Ramsey.
Me and my mum have been started watching Miraculous. Well, my mum started it,
Ooh.
and then she got traumatized.
Oh no.
Um, I'm sorry, mum. I usually have this habit of I'll watch the show before I watch it with my mum, just to make sure that there's nothing there that will really upset her.
Oh
But
my
I
God,
didn't.
I do that too. What the hell?
Oh, but but yeah, but like, 'cause she gets upset by like she hates clowns. Obviously, I don't think there'll be any clown, but like sort of like darker stuff, like trigger warning, like child death, or like just
Mm,
really gory stuff. She's a bit like, I think just that, or like a warning. But this time I
yeah,
didn't. I just wanted to like get into it. It was just that thing of I've been putting Miraculous off for so long. I just wanted to get it started now. And
yeah.
yeah, there was some dark stuff. But I was telling my mum about Pedro Pascal, who I absolutely love. I think he's fantastic.
Daddy
And
of the internet.
oh god, that's another thing we need to talk about.
Yes, we do.
And Bella Ramsey, because I think that they're awesome. But they had a very interesting suggestion for like award shows, because obviously with a lot of them you have best actor and best actress, which is very kind of
Yeah.
binary, very restrictive. So they came
Mm,
up with the suggestion of best performer as a female character or as a male character, which I thought was
oh,
quite
that's
interesting.
brilliant.
Yeah. So like
That's so
obviously
good.
that I thought was quite interesting, because like I mean they are, I believe, non-binary, and they're playing
Yeah.
a female character. I think yeah,
Yeah.
Ellie, yeah. So they would qualify for the best performer as a female. So I thought
That's
that was
so
a good
good,
idea.
because it takes away the element of gender being, why someone might be able to play a certain role
Yeah,
and why
yeah,
someone couldn't. Like it really isn't like that. And you look back to Shakespearean time, and they even then they were cross-dressing on stage and stuff. So I'm like, bring it
Hmm.
on.
I'm,
Fuck
you
gender.
know what? I want someone to make like someone like Ryan Murphy to do like a Shakespearean era set show where they're doing a Shakespeare play and everyone, everyone's non-binary and everyone's cross-dressing. That'd be so much fun.
That would be amazing, although I am not going to put that into the hands of Ryan Murphy.
Yeah, to be honest, that guy is that's a whole other topic we need to
That
talk about.
really is. I feel that talking about true crime might be an interesting topic
Wait,
because
true crime?
true crime is a real fandom and
Oh God, yeah.
it makes me feel ill sometimes. It really is part of the internet that I don't really agree with. But again, I will hold my hands up and say I used to be a big consumer of true crime content. Um,
Yeah,
but it
I
it
will say
really
I used
comes
to as well.
yeah, it really comes into the morbid curiosity thing that we really sort of started talking about with angst. Um,
Mm,
but I think the thing about true crime is there needs to be a level of nuance about it. And that is lacking in a lot of ways. And also, I feel that true crime shows, especially recently, on the topic of Ryan Murphy, there was Dharma. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it.
oh,
Dharma with
oh,
it's Ross Lynch. No, I'm totally wrong there. Who's
Evan
playing it?
Peters.
Evan Peters. Yes, Ross Lynch did play Jeffrey Dahmer at one point, but yeah, Evan Peters, who is Ryan Murphy's, poster boy. Um,
Oh, I had no idea that was a Ryan Murphy show. Oh my
yeah,
God.
yeah. That's kind of where my issues with Ryan Murphy started to show, I think. And since then, looking back, there's a lot of things in like
Glee.
American Horror Story,
Oh yeah.
Glee.
Like we were a Greek.
I have never ever watched Glee.
Don't watch
Um,
it. It's a rabbit hole you don't want to fall into. I've seen 2
absolutely.
episodes and I never want to see it ever again. But also, I never want to see it again, but I also want to watch more of it. It's
Yeah,
very strange.
I feel like that's quite a controversial opinion. There's a lot of people who love Glee, but I feel like there's also a lot of people who love Glee who can appreciate how absolutely awful it is.
See, I completely understand hate watching something. I feel like I've done that.
Oh yeah,
And Glee is very much the perfect show to do that. My God, though, it's just I want to fucking watch it with a hammer. I hate so many of the characters, and I can't deal with characters that don't do logical things or are unlikable.
yeah. Oh God, I think I tell you what, I was kind of along the lines of Glee, those sort of classic American 2000 sitcoms. I've been watching quite a lot of them recently, and maybe that's something else we could sort of look into as a topic because there's certainly some fandoms around them and still
Could,
existing to this day.
could you like give me an example of that, like sort of early like 2000 American sitcom?
So I think a pretty great example of that would be Friends. Um,
Oh yeah. But like
yeah.
I like to associate that with more like a 90s thing. Like I forgot it ended in
Oh, yeah.
2004.
I mean, yeah, no, absolutely. Like Friends definitely is like a 90s show, but I think in the context of still being quite relevant in pop culture in some people's eyes anyway. I mean, again, I've not watched Friends.
I
Um, my
watched one
brother
episode.
watched it when he was growing up. He's 8 years older than me, so there was quite an age gap there. But it's so I'm in Manchester, and in the big
Same.
Primark in Manchester, there's a coffee shop that's
Mm.
based around Central Perk from Friends, and I'm kind of like, I never really see anyone in there.
See, that's the thing. It's like I went on a tour to I think it was Warner Brothers when I went to
Mm,
Los Angeles, and it was, oh my god, it was amazing. It was an aspiring filmmaker's dream. I loved
yeah.
every minute of it. And at the end of the tour, they drop you off like a gift shop, and the
Mm.
cafe is Central Perk, like in
Oh,
town.
yeah. Great.
If we ever do a Doctor Who episode, you guys are gonna love our mate Stefan.
Oh my God. Well, it's funny you say that because they were asking me earlier, can I be a guest on the pod? And I was like,
Yeah,
yes, you fucking can. Um, and I honestly feel like we're going to get quite a few little guests on this podcast.
I think we will.
Um,
Yeah.
I definitely know that our production company, we're all very opinionated folk. We've all been in various fandoms. So we've got at least the production company to bring on the show. And, if any of you listeners, if there's any of you, have any like topics or ideas that you want to hear on the show, then I totally feel like we should maybe set up an email or something
Yeah.
like that where people can
Set
like
up a
send in
Gmail
their
account.
ideas, or
Yeah.
if
Or
anyone
if you have any like things to say or questions you want to ask.
yeah, literally, if you want to know about us, if you want to know about what we do, our films, well, we can tell you some stuff.
Like, this is very, very off topic, but like it's worth it. So have you heard of Imagine?
Imagine. I don't know if I have. What, like the song by John Lennon?
So I mean, yeah, well, that is a song, but no, apparently, according to a YouTuber who's really funny, I really like her, but I can't remember her name. The one who was the meme, like Britney something.
Oh, Brittany Broski.
That's the one. So
Love her.
she's awesome. Big fan of her. But according to her definition of an Imagine, it is a kind of younger brother of fan fiction in a sense of
Oh,
it's
that
like a
kind of Imagine. Got
it's like
you.
a video fan fiction in a sense.
Yeah,
And when I was going out, I was been doing a shitload of research for the One Direction podcast, which
incredible.
we're inevitably doing. There
Oh, yeah.
are
Probably our next
so
episode.
so many One Direction Imagines, and they are so I don't even know the word for it. Some of them are
Yeah.
sad, some of them are just what? There's one, like, there's so many denials for them reading. Well, we'll get to that. And, like, so, like,
Oh,
they will intercut them with, like, videos or pictures. And, like, there's one about Niall being in like, a bad mood, and then, anyway. And, like, it's like, oh, uh, he couldn't, like, focus on what they were doing, like, backstage. And
yeah.
it cut to a video of Niall or X Factor just being confused by what's happening. The video
Oh
just
my God.
reminds me of when we were filming, well, any of our film, and we just get really spaced out and be like,
Yeah,
what the fuck is going on? But
that's
it is
so
like,
good.
so it looks like a meme, even though it's meant to be a really sad story.
That's so good. I love that. Okay, actually, that's on just a little side topic of that, a little teaser taster for the One Direction episode.
Hell yeah.
Sort of, and on the topic of Imagines, there's some quite like ironic Imagines that have been made, really making fun of the ones that were trying to be serious. One of my favorites is, I believe it was Niall Horan.
Okay.
And it was
What should we
Imagine.
have so many imagines?
I
Oh my god.
Poor Niall. I mean, poor Niall. Really
Oh,
just.
no, literally, my guy has Scotland. My
Anyway,
god. Yeah, sorry.
so
Yeah, go on.
this Imagine involved climbing into his ear and whispering things to him. Um,
We actually
and
like Futurama style. We shrink down and go into his ear.
yes, yes. There's also a
Okay.
classic one of I've seen quite a few like TikTok recreations of this. This is like a classic either like Tumblr or Twitter meme of
Oh
Harry
god.
Styles going into surgery. Oh no, you going into surgery, hair transplant surgery, and Harry's there by your bedside, and then you wake up, he's not there. You've got hair now, and then you ask,
Oh,
"Where's Harry?" And he
yeah,
comes
so
in bald.
April. Yep.
Who do you think donated the hair?
Oh yeah.
So, you know,
Such a
there's
random one.
definitely a level of chaotic self-aware in that, and I think it's really funny to try and find the line of like people who are so unaware of what they're doing. One Direction is just gold. It really is.
But it's also really fucking funny.
Oh god, no, absolutely. Like, I think, okay, and here I'm gonna say it. At some point in this podcast, we will do a dramatic reading of a fan fiction I wrote on Wattpad, which is still up to this day.
Oh no, I'm good.
I wrote it when I was 11.
Oh
So,
god.
11, 12, that was kind of, I had a birthday in the middle of writing it. So it took me a while. It's incredible. it truly is a piece of literature, one of the pieces of all time. And
Can I ask what it's about, or do you want to keep that a secret and
I
we'll
I
reveal it?
feel perhaps we should keep the fandom a secret until I've given some pretty big clues in this podcast, but we'll leave that as a little teaser, a little taste of what's to come on this podcast.
And I haven't read
And
it, so this is going to be a surprise to me as well.
absolutely, I'm thinking episode 2, we might do the dramatic reading of this fan fiction. So stay tuned if you want to hear that. How often are we going to be making these things then, Tash? We haven't even discussed this in sort of prior to the podcast.
I mean, yeah, sorry, you left me on a cliffhanger, and I was like, I don't know, like, because I have no preparation for what we're reading, so I'm a bit worried. I'm like,
Oh boy, yeah, you should be worried.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, it could be a weekly thing, but I mean, I don't know how
Yeah,
often you want to do this.
I love
Yeah.
that. I think a weekly thing sounds great, at least for now, because we are thankfully in our nice long break over summer at the moment. And yeah, I think we can definitely start off one a week, and then we'll see how it goes once we're back at uni again. So bear with us if we do dip for a little bit. But I think this is going to be great. I'm really looking forward to making more episodes of this and just really deep diving on all of the things that I've spent far too much of my life thinking about.
I am also excited for you to find out how much of a big nerd I was and still am about certain things.
Oh yes. Oh my god. Yeah, this is gonna be great. You know, we're gonna have guests, we're gonna have fun. You know what? We might even have segments. We might even have features. Who knows? There's so many
I have an idea for a feature we could lead off on.
Oh, I reckon we go for it.
Okay, this is the interesting fan story feature. This is based on a piece of news I think is true.
Uh-huh.
I hope for this sake it is. So, back in 2010, Justin Bieber was a big thing.
Oh yes.
And it was known as being a believer, I think it was. I don't know.
Oh my god. A believer.
There was he wanted to go on a world tour. It was about time for him to, start venturing out into the big bad world and all that.
Absolutely.
Why
Getting
the
his
fuck did
vodka out there.
I don't know why I played it like that. And so he came up with an idea because he didn't know, well, him or his managers didn't know where to start, like which country. So they set up a website where people. Oh, do you know the story?
I feel like I know where this is going.
Where people could vote on what countries that they wanted people to go first. And
Amazing.
apparently on 4chan, a website I've never been on, didn't know
Nope,
about
I've
it.
never been on 4chan either. 4chan, we're not beefing with you. Please leave us alone. We have no problem with your existence. Just Just leave us alone, please. Thank you.
Yeah, so what was trying to give the idea if this was entitled Send Justin Bieber to North Korea.
Oh my God.
So they somehow, I don't know how they managed to get everyone to do this. This is a bit scary to be honest. To get North Korea to be the most voted country to get Justin Bieber to go tour on. And do you know what his managers did in response to this?
What did they do?
They took down the website and claimed it was a fan hoax made website.
Oh my God. Wow. Wow. That is so good. Bro, honestly, if 4chan gets their hands on something, you better believe it's gonna be fucking crazy when it finishes. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that I might be wrong in saying Taylor Swift, but I'm pretty sure it was Taylor Swift had something similar happen where it was like this tiny little remote village in Alaska or something. Again, don't be fact checking this. This may not be right. But honestly, when are they going to learn to stop doing polls?
I mean, literally, so what, a tiny village in Alaska?
Something like that, or in Canada, or I don't know if it was Taylor Swift. I feel like it was, but again, I don't know. It was something I saw on Internet Historian, who, by the way, I just want to say, amazing creator. I feel a lot of my little tidbits and stories originated from intrigue peaked by Internet Historian. So thank you for your strange and incredible videos. You are truly a hero of the internet.
Oh, I know them.
Yeah. He did a really great one about a man in a cave recently. So not a spawn, but check that out if you've got like an hour to spare because it is hilarious. But yeah, I feel like maybe it's time for us to wrap up this first episode. Once again, I have been Rem Harper.
And I have been Tash Lang.
And we will be hopefully releasing this tomorrow, if not some point. And I'm not going to say what day tomorrow is. So if we don't release it tomorrow, you will never know.
Ha
Yeah, we got you there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed listening, and I hope that you are looking forward to continuing to listen to this show. We really would love to hear any comments, any ideas that you guys have got. We want to hear what you guys think of this. If this is something you reckon you would want to hear more of, your feedback means the world to us. And with that, I am signing off.
And I am also signing off. Thank you for listening.
And see you in the next episode. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Woohoo!
Yay! Oh my god.
Dude, we fucking smashed that.
I thought I was pretty good. That was a good start.
Oh, I'm proud of us. That was amazing. Also,
was good.
not gonna lie, you would do amazing at radio, just to let you know.
Oh, thank you. Oh,